When it comes to video games, there's nothing quite as varied and creatively unique as the mod scene, or modification scene if you want to get serious about this. Want Owen Wilson to say wow when you land a critical hit in World of Warcraft? No problem.
Wow.
Have an overwhelming desire to explore GTA 4 as Sheriff Woody? Get on it, buddy. Looking to replace everything in Doom with Home Improvement's Tim Allen? That one is a little odd, but here it is. With such talented modders out there and complete freedom at their fingertips, imagination is the only restriction on how wild their creations can be. Becoming a larger community by the day, and let's face it, varying massively in quality, it's becoming increasingly difficult to navigate this vast sea of mods in order to find something worth your valuable time. And trust me, I know that you've got high standards and excellent taste. It's why you're watching TripleJump content, right? Or perhaps you watch TripleJump content because we're always on hand to do the hard work for you when it comes to digging out the weird and wonderful from any given gaming treasure trove. Well, guess what? Today is no different, as we're going to have a gander at some of the modding community's more interesting offerings. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are the 10 strangest mods in video games. Number 10, Thomas the Tank Engine, Skyrim and Resident Evil 2 Remake. Oh, 2 games in one? Some would say that's enough to call this one a wildcard entry. Oh, look at all the colours. Ah, yes, Thomas. Becoming a bit of a worrying trend, this. Over the past few years, Thomas the Tank Engine has had a habit of showing up in places that extend far beyond his home island of sodomy, or whatever it is, often thrust into much darker situations than he's used to, and this is the guy whose friend was bricked into a tunnel, let's not forget. One mod, cleverly titled Really Useful Dragons, places the titular Thomas in the land of Skyrim, taking the place of the multiple dragons which terrorise the locals on a regular basis. The usual dragon sounds have been replaced by train whistles and the Thomas theme song of doom, noises you will grow to fear.
Where'd you come from?
Never mind, you're finally awake. I want to go back to sleep if this is the world of the conscious. But alas, the second Thomas the Tank Engine mod is somehow more sinister than murderous rampaging dragons. Taking the place of Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 Remake, this mod, created by Zombie Ali, who made the model, and DJ Pop, who looked after the sounds and music, depicts a Thomas who never stops hunting you across Raccoon City, whistling and chugging all the way towards his goal of total destruction. We aren't sure what exactly pushed Thomas over the edge. Maybe he was tired of shoving coaches around, or Henry was late one too many times, but regardless of the reason, take heed. Thomas has broken free of the rails that once held him back, and is out for blood. God, this makes the Orient Express seem like a picnic in the park by comparison. Let's move on. Number 9, Waluigi, Dragon Ball FighterZ. If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that the internet loves Waluigi, a cheeky and mild antagonist known for his signature purple getup in the Mario series. All he wants is to feel equal to his fellow Mario brothers, and honestly, who can blame him? The rally of support for Waluigi to be included in his co-star's numerous external escapades has been immense. Yet, despite small victories on the racetrack or at the tennis court, he continues to be denied when it comes to Nintendo's ultimate competitive crossover series, Super Smash Bros. The cast of gaming franchises from all corners of the globe are invited to take part here, but Waluigi is still being relegated to the bench. This is why modder Masterclo decided to take matters into his own hands and introduce Waluigi to a different fighting game entirely, one with arguably even more powerful combatants. You know, a contest more befitting of the Purple Boy's own strength. That's right, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Replacing the model of Vegeta, Waluigi looks like he spent his neglected time wisely, bulking up at the gym and turning into an impressive revenge machine with some wrongs to right. Look out, Mushroom Kingdom, Waluigi has some new friends who actually appreciate him and some new skills with which to take the world by storm. Number 8. The Teletubbies, Left 4 Dead. The title of the game probably makes things clear enough, but just in case you hadn't yet realised, Left 4 Dead is not a friendly, carefree video game. Focused around a cooperative zombie slaying experience, it's no surprise that there's an abundance of weapons for you and your pals, and an incessant level of gore. So the question has to be asked, how could sadistic modders make a game like this even more unsettling? Well, it turns out the answer is to add some beloved children's TV show characters and have them go absolutely berserk.
Time for Tubby bye-bye.
Complete with the trademark voices and sounds from the usually lovable Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala and Poe, this mod by Flame Knight 7 is one of nightmarish proportions, with hordes of Teletubbies stopping at nothing to get their hands on your body and suck out the tasty tubby custard from within. It's one thing to have the undead chasing you, but something else entirely when these multicoloured monstrosities come tubbing your way, having presumably been plucked from the rolling hills of Teletubbyland and doped up on twice the recommended dose of bath salts. The Left 4 Dead Teletubbies mod proved so popular that it also made an appearance in the sequel, Left 4 Dead 2. Oh yes, just when you thought you might be able to escape the horror by moving to a different game entirely, the television-tummied monsters turn up with a metaphorical cry of again, again. Still, at least that skateboarding lion wasn't included here. Oh, no, I'm serious, put it away! Number 7. Multiplayer mode, Just Cause 2. Okay, so most entries in this list made the cut for their outright ridiculousness, but ironically, one of the greatest and most groundbreaking mods for inherently ridiculous game Just Cause 2 was something comparatively practical, albeit still totally mind-blowing. That's right, you saw it in the entry name. Shortly after the game's release in 2010, modder Cameron Foote and his team took it upon themselves to give Just Cause 2 an unofficial multiplayer mode titled JC2MP, which almost rivaled the original game itself in popularity. The mod is an incredibly impressive work, allowing not tens or hundreds, but potentially thousands of players to cause mayhem together across Just Cause 2. The game is chaotic enough in its original single-player mode, let alone the insanity that ensues when countless players are racing all over the map in a variety of vehicles, jacking planes with grappling hooks, and blowing up anything that moves, all at the same time. The Just Cause 2 multiplayer mod also allows in-game commands to be used, so that players can join specific activities such as racing. If the vanilla single-player experience didn't provide enough unrestricted lunacy, the world is now certainly your oyster. This mod was so well received, in fact, that Cameron Foote was hired by developer Avalanche Studios to work on future projects. So there you go, a heartwarming, explosion-filled story of success to brighten your day. Number 6. The Aggression mod, Dark Souls 3. A second entry in a row here that is a little different to the others on this list. There's no massive visual overhaul present, no new enemies or items, no major deviation from the fundamentals of gameplay, just one very simple change to Dark Souls 3, that admittedly has a massive knock-on effect, leading to the kinds of complications that'll make you never want to leave the safety of the bonfire ever again. Enemies in Dark Souls 3 have a set range within which they can detect players. If you fall outside of that, they will ignore you and go about their daily grind. Those groceries aren't going to purchase themselves from the Ringed City supermarket, are they? Morringtons. No, sorry. Anyway, the point is, as long as you don't invade the personal space of these bads, then they're happy to just keep calm and carry on. Insert social distancing related one-liner here that will date the video forever. Stay safe, everyone. Unfortunately though, modder Zuli the Witch thought that this might be exactly the mechanic to play with in order to up the difficulty of this already fairly crushing game, creating a unique and challenging experience even for veterans. What if that mentioned range of detection was increased by, like, a lot? Well, here's your answer if you can't work it out. The resulting carnage is exactly what you'd expect from an add-on entitled the Aggression mod, a seemingly never-ending wave of enemies who are annoyed just by the knowledge you exist, like wasps or anyone who thinks public healthcare is a bad idea. Truly, this is the real Dark Souls of Dark Souls 3. Everyone knows you, everyone hates you, and worst of all, everyone finds you. God, I thought I'd never say it, but I'm really starting to miss that Thomas Mr. X. I want to go home to Raccoon City. Number 5. MEGAMAN 8-bit, Doom 2. Question. Have you ever wanted Doom Guy to swap out his normal armor palette from green to, say, I don't know, blue? Have you ever been consumed by an overwhelming urge for him to use a Buster Cannon, or any Mega Man weapon for that matter? How about ripping apart enemy robots instead of demons? If you answered yes to any of those 3 questions, firstly, what's wrong with you? Doom is fine as it is. But also, good news! We have the perfect mod to scratch that oddly specific Blue Bomber itch. This 8-bit Mega Man pack, created by Cutman Mike, massively overhauls Doom 2's assets, boasting one of the largest and most impressively detailed mods available for the game. It has 86 weapons, 106 multiplayer maps, a single-player campaign, every Robot Master from Mega Man 1 through 6 playable, and all the classic chiptunes and 8-bit visuals your heart desires, unifying Doom's signature speedy gameplay with Mega Man's iconic look and sound. And most importantly, the colour blue. There's lots of that. It packs in so much content that it could easily pass as an official id Software collaboration, but perhaps the greatest thing of all is you don't even need a copy of Doom 2 to play it. Mega Man fans, get on it right now. Or after the video is done, anyway. Get on it in 5 minutes. Number 4. PIXELMON, Minecraft. Minecraft, even in its base form, is a game of endless possibility, a complex mass of textured blocks that bestows the player with almost limitless creative freedom. Famous fictional cities have been made in their entirety, stunning works of pixel art and digital sculpture erected for your viewing pleasure, and even intricate computer systems brought to life via redstone circuitry, and all within the unaltered official game. It's no surprise then that its unfettered popularity has persisted since its release in 2009. As it turns out though, the limitless of Minecraft also leaves it absolutely crying out for equally ambitious and creative mods. Now, choosing a single Minecraft add-on to represent them all here is essentially impossible. There are visual overhauls galore, millions of new items and recipe packs, monsters, machines, and fan-made crossovers with everything from Jurassic Park to SpongeBob. However, there is one hugely popular series that suits Minecraft's multi-biome setup perhaps better than any other, that being the world of Pokemon. Modder Mr. Masochism foresaw how perfect this partnership could be, and eventually brought his idea to fruition, essentially creating the admittedly slightly blocky equivalent of an open-world 3D Pokemon game before Nintendo ever got round to doing it themselves, and it is quite honestly ridiculous how well the two games mesh. Though why he didn't name this mod BLOCKET Monsters, I'll never know. Charmingly, each Pokemon can be found in a relevant area, like grass Pokemon in the forests and water Pokemon in, you'll never guess where, the water. Oh, you did guess. Pokemon can be battled and ridden from place to place. Shops, gyms, and other town buildings have been added to Minecraft villages. Personalised Pokebases can be built. The list goes on and on. How did we even play Minecraft before this mod existed? Ugh, wolves, ocelots, pff, call me when you've learned Splash, guys. Number 3. Immersive facial animations, Fallout 4. Although immensely popular and genre-defining, Fallout games, or Bethesda RPGs in a broader sense, do have a reputation of being a bit wonky with some of their animations, to the point that it's almost a staple or signature of the series that we feel lost without, an unintentional gift that keeps on giving. So you know what, why not just double down? Sod it, I don't care anymore. Enter the Immersive Facial Animations mod for Fallout 4. It's an interesting choice of name, given that at first glance this seems about as far from immersive as one can get, but then given that I can't help but be utterly focused on every single NPC I encounter, it's arguably doing a better job of captivating me than the base game ever could. Modder Aranax AE's animation add-on took the internet by storm, as it, let's say, exaggerated the expressions of all characters in Fallout 4. Now, in fairness, there is some practical use for this, in that there are 3 different levels of effect available in the mod settings. Serious mode genuinely does just enhance the facial animations a little without seeding any nightmares in your subconscious. Super Serial mode is for those who want to add a bit more juice to the mod's base setting, and then we have Excelsior mode, and I'm saying nothing more. Partly because every time I move my own mouth now, every one of my facial muscles experiences a deep self-conscious feeling of inadequacy. Number 2. Super Skyrim Bros. Skyrim. 1 per franchise is usually a good rule of thumb for a list like this, but since entry number 10 was shared with Resi, we thought we'd allow a second appearance from the Elder Scrolls here, because god, there's just so much to go at. When you think of Skyrim, you probably think about its modding scene almost simultaneously, not least because the game became instantly more playable the moment the fans were able to start fixing all of Bethesda's boo-boos on release. There are around 10,000 different unofficial embellishments and tweaks for the 2011 game, adding and altering things in more ways than any one person could possibly comprehend. Things like adventurers taking an arrow to the chest instead. Talk about wild. Amongst these countless mods though, there is one that sticks out a little more than most, but not in the way that you might suspect. You know that sort of fever dream feeling, where multiple thoughts swirling around your head are combined together without you realising that anything is amiss? Like, yeah, of course Batman drives around in the Mystery Machine to the tune of Don't Stop Me Now, of course he does! And then you wake up in the middle of the night looking down at your sheets and realise you've either had a serious case of the night sweats or you're not getting a gold star on your wall chart today. Well, here's a Skyrim add-on that evokes just that feeling. Modder Clint Mitch has crafted a world that injects the bright and colourful aesthetic of Super Mario into the brown and grey land of Skyrim, with all of the I ate some very mature cheddar before bed kind of nausea you wouldn't want it to bring. You'll encounter Goombas, Koopa Troopers, bosses, power-ups, collectible coins, and more as you traverse this sickeningly overstimulating yet strangely familiar landscape, with the main aim being to rescue Princess Peach, a path we have travelled many times before, but never in this manner. The Fever Dream comparison here is more apt than you might think as well, given that the mod itself begins by instructing the player not to sleep in a bed, this being the way in which the Mario world can be accessed. It seems even within the continuity of the mod pack itself, this adventure is the product of a very bad case of night terrors. And number 1, CARMAGEDDON, Grand Theft Auto 5. Cars. What are they good for? Well, lots of things, actually. Transportation of people, livestock and goods, picking up your friend from the airport, soothing babies until they sleep. How many reasons do you need, stranger? In fact, if cars didn't exist, the lawmakers of America would never have popularized the term Grand Theft Auto, leaving us adrift in a parallel world where Rockstar never produced the unstoppable juggernaut that is GTA 5. So there. Yes, cars are integral to our real world and especially integral to the world of GTA, so it's no surprise that modders have been messing with them throughout the series. One such messing in the most recent game came from modder Son of Ugly, who, taking inspiration from a popular GTA 4 mod, gifted the world with an add-on that is officially titled Mayhem/Carmageddon. Because Grand Theft Auto 5 needed more unpredictability on its streets, this mod causes all vehicles to slide out of control when you are within close proximity. It's achieved, according to Son of Ugly, by adding negative base friction on wheels, making them accelerate rather than decelerate at all times when wheels are in contact with a surface, whether it be the ground, a wall, or the ceiling. Yes, even the ceiling, he says. One doesn't normally have to concern oneself with how a car's wheels might react if they come into contact with the ceiling, but when you have CARMAGEDDON installed, that is absolutely a possibility. As you can see right here, it's really something, eh? I mean, I thought things were bad with the murderous Teletubbies and Just Cause multiplayer, but boy, if cars are able to cause this much devastation when granted autonomous control, I think we need to write a strongly worded letter to Elon Musk immediately. I don't like it. But fortunately, that's our list. Were there any other amazingly strange mods we needed to be made aware of? Let us know in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and while you're at it, why not support the things you enjoy by having a look at our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.